Good evening, everybody, and welcome inside the athletic fields here at Milford High School, as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. Once again, this is Tim Coet on the call as we bring you the second end of a varsity soccer doubleheader here in Milford today. Just moments ago, we wrapped up an exciting come-from-behind victory for the boys varsity team, a 2-1 final score against Taunton, and it is now the girls who take center stage. Milford taking on Taunton. Just settling into the start of our second game on the docket for today, and an early opportunity came filtering in deep for the Scarlet Hawks. Ball eventually out of play along the far sideline, tossed back in by Milford, but the Tigers able to get the clear. Milford enters into action tonight at 1-11-4 overall on this 2023 fall sports season. In sixth place position in the Kelly Rec standings. Taunton comes in at 4-8-4. They are in fourth place in the Kelly Rec standings. Girls have not been able to notch a victory against Hockomock League competition this season. They are 0-10-4 against their Hockomock League opponents. Hoping to change that here today in what we expect to be a pretty even battle against the Tigers. Prior to the start of this game, Milford celebrating senior night, or as we could refer to it here. We'll get to more on that in just a moment as Taunton creates a quick opportunity up the far sideline, but Chloe Murdoch able to make the save. Only one senior on the roster for Milford this season, so it is Aaron Mickelson who gets front and center in the celebration here this evening. Putting some pressure on here. Paige Calden with some fancy footwork. She centers up a pass. Had Mickelson there on the doorstep trying to score here on her senior night, but could not quite control. Ball rolling free now back across the midfield line. Milford getting somewhat healthier here in the final days of the regular season, in particular on the offensive side of the ball, where we'll see both Kyla Nashawati and Ava Baglione suited up and out there for the team today, which we have not been able to see since that early non-conference matchup against Hopedale that we covered in early September. Which right now continues to be the lone victory on the schedule for Milford. Can they make it 2 here this evening? That is certainly the goal. That ball is just out of the reach of Calden. Corner kick chance here. That's driven in and popped up over the goal. That looked to be Kyla Nashawati, who sent that header in just a bit high. Girls playing under the lights here tonight after the boys had the early game on the docket. Hoping to cover a doubleheader sweep here if the girls can take care of business. Also had a successful game for the girls JV team earlier this afternoon as well, so for a strong day all around for the home teams. Nashawati trying to work around an opponent, has called in there as well. Milford continuing to carry play here on their attacking side through this opening sequence. Taunton now quickly turning upfield. Milford able to catch up as Isabella Lacerbo tracks that ball down in the corner. This ball loose and in some trouble, and that squirts just wide of the net. Fortunate for Milford that that ball drifted wide, as Taunton was presented with intriguing opportunity there at close range. Festive atmosphere here in the stands, especially with the presence of a lot of the JV squad cheering on their varsity counterparts. Well, Talia Seri picking up a head of steam to release this goal kick. Seri played very well the last time we were able to cover this team, and it was a relatively close battle with the Attleboro Bombardiers. Seri had a goal in that game, as well as a number of stellar defensive plays. Ball blasted out of play. The boys' youth players out here serving as ball kids for the boys' game, and now girls' youth players out, same as we saw earlier in the season as well. Another ball that leaks its way in towards Murdoch. Release this ball out over the head of Caitlin Kernan. Nashawati is there. She pushes it forward. Taunton quick to counter. Now Alexa Landry pushes in towards Nashawati. Baglione there as well, but this ball will roll loose to the Taunton defense and get cleared away. Still in the opening 10 minutes of this first half, Milford taking on Taunton. Give another shout out to Milford TV producer, social media marketing director, and sports cameraman extraordinaire Patrick Garapi, who's been braving the increasingly chilly temperatures up on top of the press box to bring you the camera work for tonight's full doubleheader. He's been up there since about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Appreciate Patrick's efforts. This ball comes in. The shot goes well up over the net and out of play, taken by number 20 on Taunton, Ava Uhl. A lot of youth on this Taunton roster, including the middle school ranks, a number of 8th graders on this Taunton varsity roster. At least 4 by my count. The year of graduation of 2028. Eventually scooped up by the Taunton keeper. Just out of Kernan's reach, but Kay Pellegrini there to dump it back in. We can spy a uniform number on the keeper for Taunton. They list 2 keepers on their roster, Sophia Forrester, who is an 8th grader, and Ashlyn Hebert, who is a freshman. So, venture a guess that it is the freshman Hebert in there for the Tigers. Another free kick, good elevation on that kick, but Taunton there to clear it out. Pellegrini in athletic play to dump back in, just past the reach of Mickelson. Now Erin will be hoping for an opportunity to put one in the back of the net here on her senior night. Baglione now with the ball on her foot. She'll send it back to Landry. Moves back to the Milford defense now as we are 11 minutes in to first half action. Ball up for grabs, Milford's Isabella Lacerbo able to send it up the near sideline. Mickelson is there. Pulled down while the whistle goes against Milford. Looks like Kernan was the recipient of that contact, but the officials seeing it differently. Want to welcome in all of our live viewers. Whether you've been with us since the outset of the boys game or you're picking up the coverage here for the girls, happy to have you with us. This game coming to you live locally on our Milford TV educational channel, as well as on our high definition channel for Verizon subscribers, and on all of our streaming platforms at youtube.com/mymilfordtv, streaming also on our website at milfordtv.net. Taunton now with a little bit of space. They take the shot, a stop, and eventually a hold by Murdoch. Frustration from Milford head coach Lou Colabello on the sideline. As Murdoch will release this ball back out with still 26 minutes and 43 seconds to go in the first half. We'll take a look at the most updated scoring leaders around the Hockomock League as this match goes along. Usual suspects still on the top of that list. Kylan Ashawati, meanwhile, continues to lead the Milford scoring attack. Quick opportunity here, and Milford is able to strike first. That developed rapidly off of the toss-in. And so that was Paige Calden with the goal. A little bit of a deflection. Calden was there. And so with a little over 25 and a half minutes to go, Milford able to take a lead. So it certainly must feel good for the girls to play from ahead. It's been a season where at times the offense has been difficult to come by. Battling down in the corner, this ball eventually crosses out of play for the goal kick. Again, it will be Talia Seri. Alexa Landry now will toss back in. Milford taking the first lead here. Delay here waiting for the Tigers to get the ball back in play. They do so now. And again, Milford quickly able to grab hold, and they drop another one in the back of the net, this time courtesy of Nashawati. And the Scarlet Hawks taking full control of this game early now. It is 2-0. It was a great backwards feed that got that started, and then a long drive from Nashawati that glanced off the hands of the keeper and in. So goals about 3 minutes apart for the Scarlet Hawks, first from Calden and now from Nashawati. This Milford team feeling good here in the first half. Ball sneaking back to Chloe Murdoch, who makes the stop. A lot of action here in the early going. A 2-0 lead now for the Scarlet Hawks. Great atmosphere now. Here's Ava Baglione, who charges ahead, and a header going decidedly in the wrong direction for the Tigers. Gets blasted out of play. Milford sets up for a corner kick on the near sideline, looking to keep the pressure on in the first half. This ball up, it glances off the post. Milford trying to drive it back in, deflects out of play, and Milford will have another corner chance. Colabello wanting to see more offense. This ball deflects out to the edge of the box, and Taunton is going to get the clear. Milford gets numbers back. As Taunton pushes this ball ahead briefly to Kaylee Lopes. Further along now, the far sideline where Sari's able to take it away. Not a play now off the far sideline. Some fans setting up shop over in the away bleachers here for this nightcap. Good showing of fans here over on the home side, creating a lively atmosphere. These girls have responded. Milford with a couple of goals here to take a 2-0 lead. Still 19:27 to go in the first half. Glancing away from Alexa Landry, back to track it down. Good feed ahead to Ava Baglione. Baglione now a little self-pass. Now this ball rolling back for Kernan. Kernan angles it forward to be taken on there by the Tigers. Now Baglione. She's able to take it ahead. Can she get an angle here? Flips it in towards the keeper, and the stop is made by Ashlyn Hebert. On a play now, Taunton taking the opportunity to bring in substitutions. The head coach for the Tigers is Dan Borges. After this game today, Milford has one regular season game remaining. They are on the outside of the playoff hunt for Division II on the girls' side. Watched earlier tonight, the boys keep a hold on one of the final playoff spots in the boys' D2 ranks. As this ball comes in, a little too much on it for Milford to catch up. Loose at the other end of the field, no problem for Murdoch. Ticking down to 16.5 minutes remaining in the first half. A little out of Nashawati's reach, played back towards Kernan. Kernan loses control, now jumps back into the play, and that ball eventually ends up out along the far sideline. Taunton with the toss. So we apologize to our home viewers. We've been having some issues with the audio coming through, but we've got it taken care of now. Connectivity issues as we've gotten deeper into this doubleheader coverage. So if you've been following along with video only, Milford has gotten the benefit of a couple of goals here so far in this first half by Paige Calden and Kyla Nashawati to take a 2-0 lead. Minutes and 30 seconds to go as Taunton is presented with a corner kick chance. They keep it low. Drifts into a crowd. Milford is able to clear it out along the far sideline before it goes off and out of play. Play again for a toss-in for the Scarlet Hawks. Nashawati feeding that ball down the near sideline. The only one home for the Hawks was Olivia Baglione. Now with the toss in the direction of Mickelson. Plays it back to Kernan. Taunton able to intercept. Keeping this ball deep on the attacking side. Now the toss in for Kernan. And it's looped back towards the far sideline. Out once again. This will take us down towards 12 minutes to go in the half. Calden opened up the scoring about 15 minutes in. And 3 minutes later, Kyla Nashawati on a ball that rolled free out in front of the net. She took a feed about 10 yards out and popped it over the reach of the keeper in to give Milford a 2-0 advantage. And our apologies for some of the technical issues here through this first half to have things under control at this point. Still plenty of time to go in the second end of doubleheaders. Contact at the midfield line. Whistle going against Taunton. Sari with the free kick right at the center dot. Strong kick from Sari, but it's knocked away by the Tigers. Pushed in by Lacerbo. Baglione trying to gather it in. Ava through a crowd, shoots and sends it off the crossbar. now comes flying back in with the header and took some heavy contact. She's slow to get back up as the ball rolls out of play. And now the freshman back to her feet. A couple of good chances there for Milford to try to tack a third goal on here in this half. Taunton advances along the far sideline. Able to answer back. Calden sends it off the post, deflects back out towards the far sideline. Only Taunton there. They're able to get the clear. Milford continues to have this crowd roaring.
Hot round, Alexa, hot round.
Landry now with the toss in, less than 10 minutes to go in the half.
Come on, Red. Check and go. Check and go. There you go.
Pushed in just past Nashawati. Taunton again with the clear, but Milford keeps it on the attacking side, dumps this one in deep. Nashawati trying to catch up, trying to send that one out off of Taunton.
Keep it up, Red.
Creative there, but it'll be a goal kick for the Tigers.
Yeah, Alexa.
Take us under 8 minutes as Taunton tosses it in. Kernan racing back, Sari there. As that one drifts in off the side of the Milford net. Again, Sari will take the goal kick. Quickly squirting back to Murdoch. She's able to pick it up calmly. She's been sure-handed in this half. Taunton advancing again. One-on-one battle between Serbo and Leah Proul of Taunton. Distance, that one snuck in towards the Milford net, but wide. Milford came into this game this evening with 16 goals scored overall. Their last game came, we'll get to some more of that in a moment as this ball comes into a dangerous spot, still up for grabs. Murdoch travels out. Whistle stops the advance of the Tigers. Milford's last matchup came back on the 19th. That was last Thursday on the road against King Philip. Milford ended up losing the match 7-3. Those 3 goals scored in the game for Milford was a single game high. They had not scored more than 2 in a game prior to that one. They've scored 2 here within the first 20 minutes. So we'll see if perhaps for a second game in a row, Milford can establish a new scoring high on the season. Still a long way to go in this one. A little more than 5 minutes remain on the clock here in the first half. that over towards the far side, bumped out. It's touched by Taunton. Milford will sneak a substitution in here as the clock is frozen at the 5-minute mark. Pierce returns to the field, replacing Olivia Baglione. And a hard deflection comes up high. Looked to be a member of the Tigers who took that around the head. Stays in the action. Taunton, meanwhile, on a quick counter. Forces Milford to send the ball out of play. Landry sent it out. A deep toss in here for the Taunton Tigers with less than 5 minutes remaining in the half. Olivia, I beg your pardon, Ava Baglione applying pressure. Now players getting tangled up. Taliaseri in on that play. So meanwhile, the end result, a penalty shot here for the Tigers. And a quick opportunity for the visitors to gain some traction in this match down in the late stages of the half. And instead, Murdoch able to guess right. She makes the initial save, but the rebound came out too far, and the goal is scored. So everyone buzzing off of the great penalty shot save, but unfortunately, the second chance was there, and just heads up for Kaylee Lopes, who took the penalty shot. She stayed home, calmly waited for that rebound and put it through to cut the Milford lead in half. Look out here for Ava Baglione on the attack. Shawati putting her nose in there, but that ball cleared out. This Tigers offense slightly more productive than Milford so far on the season. 21 goals scored compared to Milford's 16. Those were the stats coming into play today, so you can now make it 22 for Taunton and 18 for Milford. These teams dueled to a draw the first time that they played up at Taunton High School earlier in the season. Taunton starting to turn the momentum in this game. Get themselves on the board and starting to get some more considerable time on their attacking side. This ball comes in, hits off the hands of Murdoch, who goes down. Looked at by her teammates right now. tough to tell there at game speed what happened, if that ball maybe got through Murdoch's hands and then caught her in the face. Back to her feet now. The training staff remained on the sidelines. And so it looks like they'll bring some water out for Murdoch as she tries to shake it off. Just have moments to go here in the first half, waiting for the whistle down at field level as the score has tightened up. Milford really caught the Tigers by surprise early in this half. Striking for an early 2 goals, but the Tigers started to raise their level. Short kick guided along by Baglione, now out of play. At this point, just wanting to get out of this half with the lead intact. Taunton really threatening. Milford has no choice but to send that ball out of play for another Taunton corner kick chance. And now deflected off the crossbar and in. And Taunton scores their second unanswered goal. And all of a sudden now we find ourselves back to even. 2-2. Looks like that goal will be awarded to number 9, Juliana Matos. So 2 goals coming with less than 5 minutes to go in the half here. And what felt like an all Milford half has really turned here. Milford hoping for one last gasp as they push ahead to Nashawati. She goes down. And still down on the turf as the ball goes the other way. The whistle finally comes in. Nashawati still down behind the play, as meanwhile the whistle goes against Milford. And Nashawati right now being looked after by a couple of teammates, and finally they will halt play.
Hey, Miss Pinto knows what they said.
Right now the players assessing the situation out on the field, so Milford has run into some bruising plays here in this final sequence of the half, and Nashawati clearly looks to be in some pain as she gets back to her feet.
No, it's a good play. There you go, Lou.
Coach Colabello continuing to work the officials before play continues. He wanted a whistle there against the hit on Nashawati. This ball comes inside the box. An easy handle for Murdoch. Can Milford create one more look down the other end of the field? They won't have the opportunity as the whistle comes in. So a great start to this half for Milford with the goals from Calden and Nashawati. But a good response for the Tigers as Kaylee Lopes and then Juliana Matos score in the closing minutes of this half. And so we head into halftime with the score tied at 2. We will pause here on the live coverage for the 7-minute halftime. So hang tight here on the coverage. It is all tied up between Milford and Taunton as you enjoy coverage of varsity girls soccer here on Milford TV. Welcome back in once again to the Milford turf. Second half getting started here in this girls varsity soccer matchup between Milford and Taunton. We are tied up at 2 as this second half begins, but it has been very much an evolving situation out there on the field. To start the first half, Milford came out with great energy. They found the back of the net twice within the first 18 minutes, courtesy of Paige Calden and Kyla Nashawati. They held that 2-0 lead up until the closing minutes. Less than 5 minutes to go in the half, and that is when Taunton started to find their footing. They were awarded a penalty kick chance where Chloe Murdoch was able to make an initial stop, but on a rebound opportunity, Kaylee Lopes was able to deliver the first Taunton goal, and then just prior to halftime, Juliana Matos was able to score as well. And so a great start to the half for Milford, but an excellent close for the Tigers. Leads to a 2-2 score here as we begin second half action. So who will be able to grab a hold of momentum here to start the second half? Milford now looking to attack from left to right across your screens in second half action. As we finish out double-header coverage of Milford soccer here on Milford TV today. Covering a big win for the boys soccer team earlier this afternoon, 2-1 over their Taunton counterparts. Well, here is Ava Baglione, a little bit of space, sends that one in and off the side of the net. Good aggressive play from Baglione. Generates a corner kick chance, which Ava will take from the far corner. A little bit more breeze on this side of the field. Baglione sending it into the wind. Taunton clogging up that opportunity. Milford dumping back in. Baglione pushes into the box. Mickelson can't catch up. Now along the far sideline where again, Ava pushes towards the senior Erin Mickelson. Now Kernan can't keep it going. Contact after the play as the whistle goes against Kernan. An extra shove at the end of that play that did not go unnoticed. Serbo pushes back to center. Now guided along. It's out of the reach of Nashawati. She'll get the feed again here if she can catch up, but it's knocked loose by Ava Uhl towards the far sideline and out. The toss-in goes to Mickelson. Goes off of Mickelson, out of play for the corner kick. So we promised a look at the scoring leaders for girls soccer in the Hockomock League. And really no surprise, the names that remain at the top of that list. Heidi Lawrence of King Philip, who in these closing days of the regular season now has 24 goals. That by far and away leads the Hawk. Just 33 points in total on the season. Next up in terms of goals scored is Anya Zub of Franklin, who has 18 goals, with her teammate Kelly O'Connor right behind with 17. And Jamie Davies, who we just recently saw here on the Milford field from Attleboro, has 13 goals. Those are your top scorers. While Milford with this ball in deep, that takes a hop out of play. They will give Milford the corner. Milford was turning upfield, but now scrambles back as they have the corner chance. Paige Calden sends it to the post. Kernan flying in to try to make the play. Ball ends up out of bounds. Milford will toss it back in. Sent into Nashawati, trying to create a little space for herself, but it's taken over by the Tigers with running room up the middle for one of the Tigers' goal scorers, Kaylee Lopes. A little extra grab there by the Tigers draws the whistle. Dumped back in by Pellegrini. This time it gets past her. Taunton on the move once again.
Bella. Hustle back,
Milford trying to get numbers deep and able to get this ball cleared out back towards the midfield before it goes out of play. Milford will have just one game remaining in their regular season after play wraps up today, and that will be a matchup here at home coming up on Thursday against the Franklin Panthers. A very difficult matchup, no doubt. Kernan able to pop this ball forward. Calden is there. Releases a shot that goes well wide to the near side. Rushed that just a bit. So in the opening 10 minutes of the second half, Milford keeps it on the attacking side. Calden with it on her foot again. Soft pass finds Nashawati. Kyla now has it taken away. Taunton allows it to drift out. Loads up for the toss. Kernan knocks it down. They're trying to hustle to get there, and Pierce gets taken down. No whistle on the play. And now Taunton guns it back across the center line. Whistle going against the Hawks, setting up a free kick on the attacking side for Taunton. The offense has dried up for Milford after the early success.
Come on, Red.
This one driven in on a bounce. Murdoch picks it up. the header. Nashawati shoved down.
Right through her forehead.
Free kick for Alexa Landry. Nashawati. Kernan sends it back to Grace Beagle, who tries to drive it into the box. It gets deflected out. Picked up again by Caitlin Kernan. Scoots that ball on the ground, gets it back. And as she was going to the turf, unleashed a short shot that did not make its way all the way through. And now Taunton advancing back up the other way. 29-21 on the second half clock. Tied at 2. This was the final score when these two teams played in Taunton earlier on the season, a game that saw Milford take the lead in the first half, and for Taunton to tie it up just a few minutes into second half action. Milford then took a 2-1 lead. Could not hold that lead either, as Taunton eventually would get the equalizer later on in the second half, and the game would end in a 2-2 tie. Fans trying to stay engaged. As Taunton will have the corner kick chance. Ball driven over the Milford goal and out of play. Goal kick coming up. Mickelson had a rest on the sideline, now checks back into the game. One and only senior on this roster, playing in her senior night game. With the toss in, and then quickly that ball goes screaming out of play, and Milford bench players having to scramble out of the way of that one. Temperatures have cooled off considerably. Temperature was up close to 60 degrees when we first started with the boys game today, as Milford tried to turn up the heat there with a chance from Nashawati up ahead for Mickelson. That was saved by the Taunton keeper, Ashlyn Hebert. Much cooler now, the fans still in attendance, huddling under blankets. Nashawati keeps this ball on the ground, rolls all the way into the center of the box before Taunton is able to clear it out. Talia Seri getting a rest on the sidelines as well, but stretching out now at midfield, waiting to check in at the next whistle. A little over 25 minutes remain in the second half. Teams combining for 4 goals in the first half. Haven't seen one yet here in the second, as Ava Baglione, beg your pardon, Kyla Nashawati sends that shot in towards goal. It's held on to by Hebert. Hard takedown there, with once again Kernan front and center in the physicality, no whistle. This being the last week of the fall sports regular season, happy to be able to get one last look at each of the fall teams we've been able to follow along with for one final time. So the boys enjoy a victory earlier this afternoon. Covering this girls soccer team in action here tonight. On Thursday, we'll have coverage of the girls soccer, I beg your pardon, the girls volleyball team. That's on Wednesday, I should say. Wednesday, the 25th. As the girls volleyball team will host Franklin. And then on Friday, it will be the football team returning home, looking to shake off a disappointing loss at the hands of the King Philip Warriors last week. They will face another tough opponent in the Franklin Panthers this Friday here on their home field with kickoff at 7 o'clock. So all of that action all week long, live streaming on YouTube and on our website, and also live on our educational and HD channels. It's all getting past Alexa Landry. Centered up. Out to the edge of the box, now back in. Murdoch can't smother it. The Milford defense scrambling. Murdoch now back in front of the net and able to drop the knee down to deflect that ball out of play. What a wild scramble. As Murdoch couldn't cover that ball up, she ended up getting caught out of position, and Milford fortunately had defenders there in support that kept that ball out of the net, preserved the tie for the time being. Although we'll see a corner kick chance here for the Tigers coming in from the near side. Rolling free now towards the corner. Milford lets it go out.
Perfect time.
Milford hoping to recapture some of that offensive spark they had over the first 18 minutes of this game that led to 2 goals scored and a lot more opportunities. That just has not been there really ever since. For a time, it looked like they might be able to see that lead hold up, but Taunton, those 2 late goals in the final minutes of the first half, to a tied game, still tied here now as we approach the midway point of the second half. This ball knocked out of play by the Tigers. Toss in now for Ava Baglione. Gets past Kernan. Now gathered back in by Nashawati. She sends it in on goal, and it is saved by Hebert. Sari now being careful along that far sideline. She guides the ball out of play. Last game for the Tigers was most successful wins of the season. A 6-1 win against New Bedford that came on Saturday. Prior to that, a 2-2 tie against Attleboro, so points in the last 2 straight for the Tigers. And 3 out of their last 4, they earned a victory back on October the 13th against North Attleboro, so their only loss in their last 4-game stretch came at the hands of Franklin, a 4-0 defeat on October 17th. Milford, meanwhile, as we mentioned, a tough 7-3 loss their last time out against King Philip. Prior to that, they battled North Attleboro to a 1-1 tie. And in non-conference competition back on the 16th, they suffered a 6-0 loss to Norton. And then before that was the 4-1 loss to Attleboro in our last coverage of this team, which came back on October 13th. Battle one-on-one in the corner. Ball goes out of play, and Kylan Ashawati will have the toss. So meanwhile, the refs changing the call at the 11th hour there, and instead of a toss in for Nashawati, we get a Taunton toss. And now another whistle. Milford players frustrated. Ball out of play, and now Landry will have the toss. Taken back by Kernan. Now bouncing back towards Ava Baglione, has a defender right behind, able to clear herself and guns the ball in. That had a defender ducking for cover. The ball goes out well to the near side of the net. Baglione perhaps rushing that play a bit. Had some space. So we now dip under the 17-minute mark in the second half. A chilly Milford turf. Here's Kernan. She'll send a ball in with speed, but well wide of the net as well. So Milford has had a couple of looks here in this last stretch, but a lot of rushed shots have been nowhere near the goal mouth. Still play on, tied at 2. Taunton now with a quick streak up the far sideline. Shot towards goal that's knocked down by Murdoch. Eventually she picks it up.
Keep going, Red. Win that.
Ball lobbed in the air, out of the reach of Baglione. Kernan picks it up. She'll send it on ahead to Ava Baglione. She'll dump it down into the near corner, but that will drift out. Still a lot of time left. 15 minutes to play. Swati looping that ball out of play. See Paige Calden return to the field. A lot of these outdoor teams wrapping up their seasons this week will get a treat of some warmer weather as this week goes along. Temperatures will be back up in the 60s tomorrow, and then after that, the remainder of the week, we're expecting 70s. A little streak of unseasonably warm weather. So outdoor teams sure to enjoy it, as meanwhile Milford takes this ball over here. Ava Baglione will take it along the near sideline. Centers this ball up for Erin Mickelson. Couldn't quite get an angle. Kay Pellegrini along the far sideline. Less than 13 and a half minutes to go now. Down towards the center circle. Shove in the back by Pellegrini.
She just pushed her!
Kick for the Tigers.
Look at them. Yeah,
Chloe Murdoch all the way out of the box to play that ball back up the middle, with Taunton streaking with numbers ahead of the Milford defense. Getting repositioned for the toss-in. And finally, back at the depth that receives the approval of the officials. Milford needs to push this ball out along the near sideline. Toss in by Braylon Nichols of Taunton, and the ball ends up right back out of play for another Tigers toss. Open space ahead for number 44, Maribel Dorozario, who shanked that ball to the far side of the Milford net. So we've seen that a couple of times from Milford rushing looks on goal. Now we see it from Taunton. Sari's kick goes out by the Taunton coaching staff. And out of play again, this time off of Caitlin Kernan. Ball loose in the middle of the field and delivered wide to the near side off the foot of Juliana Matos. Had a chance perhaps at a second goal in this game, but sent it in off target. Both sides have had opportunities to break this deadlock, but we play on at 2-2 now with less than 10 minutes remaining in this second half. Right now, Milford having trouble just getting this ball out of their defensive end of the field. Another whistle going against the Scarlet Hawks. Pushed through towards goal, and an easy stop for Murdoch.
Good punt.
Pushed through by Nashawati. The crowd gets excited as Aaron Mickelson came forward. This crowd hopeful of a look on goal, perhaps, for Aaron Mickelson. This ball back towards the keeper, who will give it a toss out towards the near sideline. Nashawati is able to get there first. She wins it back. Beg your pardon, Ava Baglione. Now this ball rolling free towards the keeper. Hebert able to stop it. Taunton able to clear this ball out. Another whistle, and again it is against Milford. Getting later into the evening here. Past 7:30 now. Later start time for the girls here under the lights on senior night. Milford has not won a match since their second game on their schedule all the way back on September 11th. As this ball goes spinning across the goal mouth, tracked down by Kyla Nashawati. Some good footwork to send this ball centered up just out of the reach of Olivia Baglione. She was there on the doorstep, but couldn't make contact. Toss back in. Kyla there, trying to send another centering pass, but instead the ball is scooped up by the keeper, Ashlyn Hebert. Less than 7 minutes to go now. A scoreless second half. It's all gunned ahead by Caitlin Kernan. She steps right back up into the action, feeds this ball through, but wide of the net. Series of substitutions come pouring onto the field for both sides.
Good job, Rev.
Sliding play for Kernan to play this ball towards the near sideline for Ava Baglione. Sends this ball in towards net, and she scores from about 20 yards out. Ava Baglione bends that ball in and gives Milford the lead back with 5 minutes and 49 seconds to go. It's 3-2 Scarlet Hawks. Stands buzzing here once again. And now Baglione jumping back into the play. Taunton clearing out to center. A shove sends Isabella Lacerbo to the turf. Taunton disagreeing with the whistle. Milford will deliver this ball up as we go under 5 minutes to play. Out of play along the far sidelines for a Taunton toss-in. Was that under the 5-minute mark that things got hairy for Milford in the first half, with Taunton springing to life for a couple of goals to tie the score, hoping for a cleaner close to the second half, especially now after retaking the lead. Minutes to go. The clock now stopped. We'll wait for the final signal from down on the field. Milford looking to not make any mistakes here on the defensive side. Taunton lofting this ball completely out of the field and off into the trees as Milford will send this ball in. A shove for Baglione. She stays in the play, sends a shot in, but it's wide to the far side. A goal kick for the Tigers. Maybe about 3 minutes to go at this point. Taunton travels back across the midfield line. It's broken up by Lacerbo. She's had a solid game today. Lacerbo taking that ball, looked to be right off the nose as that came in from the far sideline. Some pain as she's now checked on by her teammates. She will travel to the sideline under her own power. Looks to be having to use the towel for some blood that might be coming from that nose, as again she took the full force of that ball coming in from the far sideline. This one comes in on net. Clean save by Chloe Murdoch. Hoping to put the finishing touches here on a nice late season win here on the home field. Just a few moments away at this point as Nashawati tries to protect this ball down into the corner. And so they again reverse the decision. They give Taunton the toss-in. Little chippiness there on the exchange of possession. As the ball goes back out of play, now Milford will get the toss. And towards Mickelson, now straight up in the air. Aaron trying to track it down, Nashawati there as well. just keeping this ball in, letting seconds tick off the clock as that drifts out, and Milford will have a corner kick chance. Baglione onto that near corner. Paige Calden fighting. A bit too physical as Taunton races to set up the free kick. Good play by Alexa Landry to send this ball back upfield and out of play. And there is your final whistle. So a beautiful goal here late in this second half with only about 6 minutes to go to give Milford the lead back at 3-2, and they hold on for the win. Just the second win on the season for the Scarlet Hawks. And one of their final home games of the regular season has to feel good. So with the victory, Milford will improve now to 2-11-4 overall on the season. As we mentioned, they've got one home game to go. And that will come a little bit later this week against a very tough Franklin Panthers team. But in the meantime, the Hawks will certainly bask in the glow of this win. As again, they're able to defeat the Taunton Tigers here this evening by a final score of 3-2. Milford goals scored in this game by Paige Calden, Kyla Nashawati, and Ava Baglione with the winner here late in the second half. And it all totals up again to that 3-2 final score. So a successful doubleheader coverage here from the Milford turf. The boys win game 1 2-1, and the girls make it a clean doubleheader sweep. A big thank you to our cameraman for this game today, Patrick Garapi, covering both ends of this doubleheader. And I am Tim Coet. Again, that final score, one final time, Milford defeats Taunton by a final score of 3-2. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.